My name is Edna Kwabwa. I'm a banking official and I have 2 girls. The first one is almost 4 and the second one is a year and 3 months. With my first girl, I think I found out I was pregnant when I was around 11. The pregnancy was around 11 weeks. I didn't feel anything, and I mean, apart from the obvious missing of your menstrual period, which I had already experienced before. I had already encountered a situation where for over a period of 2 months I hadn't seen blood, and so I wasn't very much worried. But after some time I just thought that, well, let me go and test and see if whether or not I'm pregnant. And so I went to test and I was pregnant, and I was 11 weeks gone. For the second one, because I already had the experience, around 3 weeks, yes, I found out I was pregnant. I enjoyed every bit of my pregnancies. Both pregnancies were super good. I would say I didn't feel in any way. I was eating my normal meals. I was using my normal pomade, my perfume, everything I was doing normal. I was going to work. There was no day I ever felt sick. And so I enjoyed the pregnancy throughout the 9-month period. The only difficult aspect was with the labor, but apart from that, everything was smooth. No spitting, no throwing up, no falling ill. No, I wasn't a picky eater. I was eating almost everything, and I enjoyed eating. I would eat my morning meals, heavy morning meals, banku, wache, ampesi, anything at all that was heavy. I wasn't doing too good with the light meals like cocoa and all that. I would eat cocoa, and within 1 hour, I'm feeling hungry again. So I preferred eating the heavy meals, and so I enjoyed my pregnancy. It was complication free, and so I really enjoyed my pregnancy. As I said, I don't know, God being so good, both pregnancies were smooth for me. They were very smooth. I was going to work normal. For my first pregnancy, I delivered at 40 weeks plus 1. And I delivered on Tuesday. Prior to delivery, on Monday, I was at work in the morning. And even though I had started having some contractions, I decided to go to work. I hadn't handed over. So I decided to go to work, do my handing over notes, and then come back home. So I did all that, and then the next day I delivered. And it was the same with the second pregnancy. Unfortunately, with the second pregnancy, I was asked by my HR per regulation to proceed on leave, and so that's how come I got out of work. Other than that, I would have worked throughout. Delivery. I don't know how to explain it, but for my pregnancies, delivery was very painful. I endured a lot of pain. For my first pregnancy like this, I remember we leaving to the hospital at 4 a.m. When we got to the hospital at 4 a.m., I had dilated, I think, up to 3 centimeters. And I was given a bed. I lay on it, waited. As at around 8 thereabouts, when I was expecting it to get to about 9 or something, I was at 4, and so they had to give me a drip with oxytocin to induce the pain, because my doctor said no pain, no gain. The more pain you feel, the more the dilation is able to progress. And from there, it was hell. I tell you, it was painful. I screamed, I cried, I did all sorts. I don't know. I think some of them I wasn't even aware of what I was doing. But fortunately, my husband was by my side, and so he helped soothe some of the pain away. The nurses were also very helpful. One nurse, I remember, wrapped my back throughout to help me feel a lot better. And it was the same with the second pregnancy. Pain. Unfortunately, the second pregnancy, I was alone. Because we didn't have help, my husband had to attend to the first child, and so I was alone in the hospital from Monday 4 p.m. till I delivered. It was pain. All the pain went away. I was overjoyed. I can't explain it. I was happy. I was very much happy. Seeing my baby, holding her to my chest. It was very exciting. It was an exciting period. It was an exciting, for my first pregnancy like this, I was very happy, because at a point I almost gave up. I was pushing. I didn't know how to push. When I was being asked to push, I was pushing through my throat. Not knowing, the pushing needed a lot more effort. You needed to do it in another way. So when she finally came out, I was overjoyed. And it was the same with the second one. It was all joy. A lot of it. I haven't been able to sleep the way I used to. Last time I was telling a friend that I don't remember sleeping 4 hours continuous. I don't remember. Since I gave birth, I haven't had 4 hours continuous sleep. But it's amazing how each day we wake up strong, feeling all energized and all that, to continue with the day's work. I think it's one thing that God has blessed mothers with. We are most of the time sleep deprived, but we wake up every time with some form of new strength. Yes, so and I haven't really had that much help. It's been my husband and I, and we are both bankers. So it's we supporting each other here and there. This one handles this one handles that. And I must say, he's been extremely supportive. And I commend all the fathers of today. And most of them are doing an amazing job, helping their wives and their children. I mean, it's amazing the kind of supports they are giving us. We wouldn't have been able to do half of the things that we are doing now without them. So kudos to all fathers. And then having to take my children to school at 5 months, it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been. We've had to adjust here and there. I mean, when I had to resume work after 3 months, it wasn't really something that we wanted, and so we had to take unpaid leave here and there. My husband had to take some time off to try and adjust our schedule, get the children to a certain point before they start school, because for both babies I breastfed them exclusively for 6 months, and so we wanted them to get to at least 5 months before starting school. A lot of surprises. I mean, I didn't know I would be this sleep deprived. I thought that, I mean, once the baby was full, they would sleep for you to sleep some, if I should say. But sometimes they are full and they won't sleep. They wake up at dawn, they would want you to play with them and all that. I mean, some of these things we weren't told. And the kind of hard work parenting comes with, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. We weren't schooled on some of these things. I mean, we saw ourselves as children giving our parents some form of tough time, but little did we know that, I mean, we'll also be going through all this. It's not been easy. The surprises are many. You see some of the things that they do. You have kids climbing your furniture and all that, doing stuff that at their age you are thinking, hey, why are they doing this? And they assessing the risk associated with these, but I guess they are kids, and so they love to explore. You just have to make sure that you watch them so they don't get hurt. Yes, I believe strongly that I know what I'm doing. A little bit. I haven't gained that much weight, but I guess after 2 babies, there's a bit of mommy tummy here and there, which we are trying to get rid of, but generally not much change. Our mothers keep telling us that when the baby sleeps, you also have to sleep. But when you have work to do, can you abandon the work and go and sleep? There are times that, of course, you are just tired, you need rest. And so once the baby sleeps, you also try and catch, even if it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes of sleep, you do well to catch that. But most of the time, you have something doing. And especially for some of us who have very little help, you are doing almost everything. You are feeding them, you are bathing them, you are teaching them, you are helping them with their homework, you are doing this, you are doing that for them. They are helpless, and so they rely solely on you. It's very difficult. Much as you attend to the babies, you also have a husband, a fully grown man to also attend to. He also has needs, and so you try and balance your schedule so that you can fit him in. Because I realized that you have to, as a mother, you have to make a conscious effort to make some time for your husband. It shouldn't always be about the kids. The kids will grow up, they will leave, but your husband will always be there. And so you have to try and nurture that friendship, that communication, that bond, so that you don't lose it when the children are away. Because when you are left alone and there isn't any friendship, any communication, you guys will be bored. For me, I didn't have any issues with breastfeeding. Right from the day the baby was born, I started breastfeeding. What I didn't know was how to get the baby latched on. So I remember for my first child, I asked one of the midwives to show me how it's done, because my milk started flowing instantly. And so I started breastfeeding them instantly. And when I was home too, I started, expressing. Any free time I get, I had breast milk in abundance. I didn't have any problem with breastfeeding at all. The only issue was, what surprised me was that when the breast milk was moving from the yellow one to the milk, the colostrum or something, the yellow to the white, I had this very swollen breast. I think the breast milk was just too much, and the baby wasn't sucking too much at the time, and so I'll have my breast swollen up to almost my neck level, and it was very painful. I didn't see it coming. It was something that I didn't see coming. For both pregnancies, I experienced that, and so I had to try as much as possible to express, get as much bags. I think before I even resumed work, I had about 50 bags of breast milk in my freezer for baby to take in at school. Yes, sometimes it amazes me how I am able to do the things that I do, combining work with taking care of my children, taking care of my husband, taking care of my home. It hasn't been easy. Sometimes I get surprised, but I guess, like I said earlier on, it's God we give thanks to, we give praise to for the strength He continues to provide us to do the things that we are doing, and I pray that He'll continue to fortify us to, still do them. And not, I haven't been sick in a very long time. The only thing I must have suffered is maybe a headache, a tummy ache or something, but I have never been admitted in so many years, and I'm thankful to God for that. Going out, it's always quite challenging because you don't know what to pack, you don't know what to carry along with you. What I have been doing is that I have a diaper bag that I try to pack as much diapers as possible. I try to pack as much clothing as possible, because babies can really surprise you. You think that, your child, maybe they use about 5 diapers in a day, and so if you are going out, you are packing 5. No, they can surprise you. I packed 5 diapers in a day some time back for my baby when we were going out, and I was surprised that she could use all 5 diapers within a very short period. So I tried to pack as much diapers as possible and as much clothing as possible, so that anytime they mess up, they can have a change of clothing. Pack baby foods, water. If it's breast milk, I make sure I've warmed it in the bottle and it's in the pouch to keep it warm, and yeah, basically that's it. None that I can recall. None that I can recall. Right from pregnancy, I read a lot. I read almost everything I was experiencing in pregnancy. I subscribed to Baby Center, and so it was giving me updates, what will happen at this point in time, how baby is growing, what to expect, what not to expect. Everything, I think everything went well. I think every mother does. I don't know which mother doesn't do that. Every mother, we fool around, we joke. You are feeding a baby and you find yourself singing, trying to, make silly faces in order for the baby to eat. Every mother does that. I do it too. I sing. There are lots of rhymes that I've picked up, I've learned because of my children. I think there's no cocoa melon rhyme that I don't know how to sing, because for my first girl, during the lockdown, we were home with her. I took some time off to be with her, and so when we were watching TV most of the time, watching cocoa melon most of the time, so I learned a lot of rhymes, singing, dancing, goofing around, making silly faces and all that. Yes. For my first girl, I call her Yasantua. She's called Sewa, but I call her Yasantua because she acts like a boy. She doesn't she's too adventurous. The kind of things she would do, oh, no. It will amaze you. And the second one, I call her strong but mighty. Small but mighty, sorry. She's cute, she's petite like myself, and it's amazing the things that she can do. Yes, so I call her small but mighty. Combining work with, finding time for them. I think it's been my most challenging part of raising them, because we leave home very early in the morning, take them to school, and come back very late, get them to sleep. If there's any assignments you help them to do, they go back to sleep. They are awake again in the morning. So it's like there's very limited time to spend with them, and that has been my most challenging part in raising them. Sometimes I feel very guilty that I'm not doing much. I'm not spending enough time with them, but we are trying. We are trying. The joy, when they smile at you, when you do something for them. Mommy, thank you. Mommy, I love you. It's very rewarding. It makes you feel fulfilled. Even though, like I said, you may not be spending so much time with them, but the little time you spend with them, the joy, the smiles you see on their faces, it's very fulfilling. My final words would be that there's one thing that I really wanted to draw mothers' attention to, and the fact that for my second child, as at around 28 weeks, she had her legs down, and it wasn't really much of a bother, because we were told that she would turn eventually. But at 30 weeks, between 30, 34, the position was still the same, the presentation was still the same, and we were quite bothered, even though we're told that about 30 to 40% of babies would not have turned. As at that, they wouldn't have flipped into the cephalic presentation. That's the normal presentation before delivery, between that time, sorry. But we were asked to do some exercises. I remember going on YouTube to watch some exercises so that the baby will flip, but that didn't happen. And so the doctor spoke to us about having an external cephalic version. It was the first time I was hearing something like that. I didn't know it was possible. But external cephalic version basically is, doing a manual turning of the baby. And so it's something that I feel that if mothers who at maybe 37 weeks or 36 weeks, their babies are in a breech presentation, and maybe the doctors recommend that you have a CS, you can also speak to them about having an external cephalic version if it's possible, and they can have it done for you so that you can have a normal delivery. I'm not saying CS is bad, but my pregnancy was complication free. So if your pregnancy is complication free and there's no need for a CS and an external cephalic version is possible, then I would advise that mothers go in for it. It's a very simple procedure. Under 10 minutes you are done. You simply be monitored afterwards to make sure that everything is fine, and then you can have your baby. You can deliver your baby normally. So these are my words to mothers. a lot of people are not presented with this option. So if they can read about it, and if the need arises, recommend it to their doctors. I think it would help.
Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, share, comment on this video at Dromo Baby on Instagram, Dromo Baby on Facebook, and Dromo Baby on YouTube. Thank you.